Time for a case study video update, and we have traffic. More on that later. I'm not using an H domain as others in this case study series, Project Icarus. I'm starting on a brand new domain, and I have a very specific reason for that I'm going to show you on the computer. I have 2 failed projects in my past. I'm going to share all the ugly details with you. Project Icarus is something Emilia Gardner has started over on her channel, and you can go there to get all the background. It's a case study where she starts an H domain in hopes of skipping the sandbox period. And some of us have chimed in and are starting our own websites. And as I said, I've chosen to start on a brand new domain. The reason being that I've failed twice at this, and I don't really believe there is a sandbox period, and I'm going to touch more on that later. I really do believe that you can learn more from your failures than from your successes. And if you look at too many videos here on YouTube on how successful people can be in online business, you don't really get the full picture. So I'm going to show you some ugly details from 2 failed projects. And hopefully you can learn something from my failures. Let's dive in. The first site is one of my own, and I've had it since 2018. In the beginning, I was just practicing. I was writing general content and something about Facebook and general life, and it was getting around 79, 65 page views a month, and I was happy with it. But at some point, I decided to let the project rest for a while, and all through 2019, I didn't do anything with the site. So in 2020, I finally decided what I wanted to do with the site, and I started posting content on there. And it started to get some traffic again, 76, 103. There's some weird spikes in here. I don't know why they're here. It's some weird bot traffic. There's only 3 days where I get like 600, 800 page views, and we just have to pretend it's not there. And right around here, all the content on the site is at least a year old. So we know from experience that 8, maybe 10, 12 months is sufficient for an article to start to rank and to pick up some traffic. And at this point, all the articles are at least 1 year old, and some of them almost 2 years old. And for this type of content and the amount of content that is on there, at least 1,000 page views, maybe 2, 3 or 5,000 page views wouldn't be too much to expect. And as you can see, there's nothing even close to that 80, and in last month it was 103. The other site is a domain I purchased in 2019, and it also has some weird bot traffic here. So I'm going to zoom in on this part before the bot traffic. So because there is actually traffic here, we just can't see it. So I'm just going to shorten it to the end of May here last year. So and you can see there is some traffic up to 385, but it's weird that it doesn't have a slow, steady incline. All through 2019 and the beginning of 2020, I posted 82 articles on this site. And I've done the same keyword research as I do for my other sites, and it's the same type of quality of content, and I usually get around 500 page views on average, so that will be quite a lot more traffic that I'm seeing here. We can also take a look at the website after the bot traffic in June and see how it's done for the last couple of months. It looks more steady, and maybe there's an incline starting here, but it's nowhere near the level of traffic that I would expect with 82 articles. Both of these sites had some authority before I started to post regularly on them. For the first site, I started posting mostly about Facebook. And then I didn't post on it, and then I started posting regularly on a completely different topic. The other site where I purchased the domain, when I went back and looked at what has been posted to that domain before, it was mostly thin content and it was all over the place, and I couldn't really find a common thread in it. So I posted some content that was sort of similar and then started to go in my own direction. For both of these sites, I was posting something else than that originally had been on the domains. And I was trying to shift the authority in a different direction. And as you can see, I haven't been able to do that. My advice is that you get the content that has been on the site before, so you at least keep the authority in that area on the site. And if you can't get that, you at least assess what type of content, what the area of authority is. So if you do what I've done here and starting posting in a different pillar, you will have to build up new authority in that space. And you can just as well have been starting with a completely new domain that also doesn't have any authority in that pillar. So you have to be, in my experience, you have to be very precise to stay in the authority. As I said in the beginning, I've started a completely new domain for this project. And I've posted the staggering amount of content, 2 articles on there, and they're both indexed. So something is going on here. I've done something right. And if you look at my playlist on how I'm cracking the Google indexing issues, you would know that I haven't really found out what I'm doing right with this site yet. But the articles are indexed and I have 45 page views on the site. So that's all well and good. So something else is going on here. And Carl Ruth also talks about this, that he doesn't believe there is a sandbox period. And the argument is that it is more to do with the authority the site has in a certain area. So even though it might have a big or high authority in one area, if you start writing content in a completely different area, you will basically start at 0 as well. So this is sort of the same when you start a new site. It has 0 authority in all areas. And if this is right, you would have the same success even if you have an H domain or if you have a completely new domain, if you write in an area that the H domain hasn't previously been authority in. So be careful when you choose an H domain over a completely new one. Going forward, I'm going to post more articles in the Project Icarus website here, and 45 page views isn't a lot, and 2 articles is definitely not enough. But I have a list with 60 articles in them, and I want to do more scientific studies. And this is sort of what I want to do here on the channel, is to be more scientific in my approach to blogging. So I want to post 60 articles all at the same time, but with different methods, so I can compare each of the methods. So to keep things fair, I want to get them all live at the same time, so they all have the same time to rank. So stay tuned for that. Till next time, see ya.